Hi guys, today I'm going to explain to you how to become well-spoken and eloquent. Communication is everywhere in your life. You speak every single day, every single time you see someone. I've already shared basic and effective tips on my YouTube channel about how to improve your communication skills. I invite you to go watch this video if you haven't already. And today we'll see more precise advice to enhance your speaking skills. All of them, from the first one to the last one, can radically boost your communication skills. You can really hypnotize people when you speak. But enough chatting, let's get started. The first advice I'm giving you today is to give examples when you speak. Give analogies, metaphors, real examples, or created examples. Because humans always prefer what's tangible, what's real, concrete, than what's theoretical. Thanks to analogies and metaphors, you can simplify complex ideas. You can also create a clear imagery in the mind of your listeners, which then makes your message more relatable. So you should use examples. For instance, Andrew Tate, on a very famous podcast, said that life as a man is more difficult than life as a woman. And to explain that, he gave an example. He said, well, if you look at a chessboard, the queen can move wherever she wants, whereas the king can move only one square at a time. And for him, it has been done purposefully, because a guy has to become stronger, to become fit, to become rich, to become eloquent and everything, whereas a girl only has to be beautiful and she will succeed in life. Now, if we agree with Andrew Tate or not, it's not the question here, but I just want to emphasize the fact that thanks to his example, he made his point very clear, very precise. He conveys his ideas with more impact. It's easy to get interested in what he says. And that's why you should always use examples, analogies, and metaphors when you're explaining something. Now, the second advice is to use voice intensity, pacing, and tone effectively. Effectively means with appropriate changes. Because people don't get captivated by monotony. If a guy always speaks loud, he's not going to captivate people at all. He's just going to annoy people. People are going to get bored listening to him. People don't get interested in monotony. They get interested in changes if you change the way you speak often. If you look at a beautiful landscape, and you look at it, there's nothing, and suddenly a bird comes out of nowhere and it takes your attention, right? It's the same thing with your voice. If you always speak the same way, with the same voice, the same pacing and everything, it's boring. It's boring as hell. Whereas if you make little changes, appropriate changes, sometimes you speak a little faster, sometimes you take an emotional voice, an emotional tone, it's much better, it's much deeper, and it helps to convey your ideas, your emotions in a more clearer and more impactful way. So use changes in your voice to arouse people's curiosity. Now, the third advice, the third one is related to body language. Use body language effectively. And in fact, effectively means the same thing. You have to make changes in your body language. If a guy always does the same movement with his hand, or he does no movement at all, it's monotonous. Your listeners can easily be distracted. On the other hand, if you use a variety of gestures and you use them at the right moment, your communication is enhanced. For example, you can make an eye contact change during a sentence to make it deeper. If you look in the eyes of your listeners, the whole conversation is not going to make anything. You're just going to seem crazy, right? Whereas if you say something emotional and at the moment you say that emotional thing, you look at him at this moment, it's much deeper. We all agree on that. So use changes in your body language and in your voice to convey your ideas more effectively. So remember here that it's the main principle for voice and for body language. You have to avoid monotony. You have to use changes to emphasize key points to convey your emotions and to make your speech more dynamic and engaging. And now the last advice is to acquire knowledge. I've mainly talked about how to improve the way you speak. Indeed, it's essential. But then if you don't have anything to discuss, you don't know any precise things, it makes it very difficult to maintain a debate or just to maintain a conversation. That's why you need to acquire knowledge. Read a book, watch a documentary, watch a movie, learn interesting things. Because then when you're making points, you can give real examples. That was the first tip. You can give created examples, but also real examples based on your knowledge. You can give little anecdotes or also scientific or historical references, and it's gonna give you authority and credibility. So, to sum up quickly, the first tip was to give examples, created or real examples when you're speaking. The second tip is to use voice changes. The third one was to use body language effectively, so with changes, appropriate changes. And the last one is to acquire knowledge. Now, the best way to learn something and to actually retain it in your memory is to apply it. So right now, I want you to take those 4 advice and to try to apply them when you're speaking. See every new interaction as a new challenge, a new way, a new opportunity to make your communication skills better. And try to get feedback also, that's really important. You want to get feedback, you want to see if your listeners are captivated, are engaged by what you say. So try to get feedback. Now, if you stayed until the end, congratulations, you have a great attention span, a really rare quality nowadays. If you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like, you can subscribe to my channel as well, and I see you next time.